What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and today I'm back with another deck profile. Now this one's a little bit late. It's a post Banlist true Draco deck profile. I know the Banlist is like 2 weeks old at this point and we've known about it for like 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but this deck has been something that I wanted to work on and something that I was like, you know what, I know people are saying it's unplayable, but like, is it unplayable? So I wanted to make this deck to go second. Actually, it's not a go first floodgate deck anymore. This is going to be a little bit different. Let me know what you guys thoughts is of this in the comment section down below, because this is something that I kind of theory crafted myself. Me and my friend Alpha, we put this deck together and we were kind of deck testing and we were kind of seeing what the ceiling of this deck is. By no means is this deck meta or top tier or anything, but it's definitely playable. It's funny because on when I was building it, I titled the deck unplayable. I was one of those people that was like, oh, True Draco's gone, it's unplayable, you can't play it anymore. But there's definitely still ways you can play it, and I think this is one of the cooler ways to still play it. And I'm not going to be showing you guys a side deck, but I'll let you guys know what kind of stuff you should be siding and whatnot. So we'll get into the main deck. If you guys enjoy these deck profiles, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. So we are going to start off with one Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter. I thought this card was going to come off the ban list. I did not think Diagram was going to go to 1, and so was Card of Demise. Dynamite Knight, the true Draco fighter, is still a 1-of that you still got to play. Triple Ignis as well as Triple Majesty. I am maxing out on these, and the reason for that is because you do want to see them opening hand, and you actually do want to see these now. It's not like before with the Demises where you didn't want to see your monsters. Now you really do want to see your monsters, so I am maxing out on this. I would play Dreath, I think the name is, but I didn't want to brick on too many monsters, and I'll show you guys why. It'll make more sense later on, but I did want to max out on these because I did at least want to see one monster every single hand, so I am playing 7 monsters. And then triple Amano Iwado. I think this card is your best normal summon in the deck. If you guys don't know, True Dracos get extra normal summons inherently from their spell cards, so that's why Amano Iwado is one of the better cards that helps you not lose to hand traps, helps you negate monster effects. Also going second is pretty good because being able to just normal summon this, and it doesn't activate, so you can't like Apollo negate this or anything, so it'll shut down your opponent's monster's effects right away. So Amano Iwado, really good card in that sense, and it just helps you really just hard win like the combo deck matchups. So going second, and again, this is a going second deck. This is really good. And lastly, I am playing triple Nibiru only because this deck is built to go second, and it is built to beat the combo decks. Now against the back row heavy decks, you just side these out essentially and you play back row removal. This deck already does have inherent back row removal with its spell cards. Also, if you guys didn't know, that's why this deck is so like low-key broken, and it has to be hit in the ways it's hit, because these spell cards and trap cards do so much for you that like if they had this at full power still, like this would be running amok. But Nibiru is essentially just to hit the combo decks. Now I'm not going to be showing you guys a side deck like I said, but if you guys want to side these out against the combo decks, you are just going to be playing something like Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones. I mean, you already do have inherent back row removal, but just extra doesn't hurt you. And being able to just, you know, break your opponent's board, something like Evenly as well can come in for these. So triple Nibiru, because you do want to beat the combo deck, so Nibiru just helps you in that sense. And if you do end up playing one of the back row decks, you still should have good game ones, unless for some reason you draw triple Nibiru. But otherwise, like, this is still really good in the main deck, and I would not consider taking these out of the main deck. Moving on to your spell cards, we are playing the 1-of Diagram. I know it's only 1-of, but you still got to play the 1-of. You do want to see it, honestly, as much as possible, but you don't want to run other bricky cards. This deck is kind of inconsistent as it is. Like, you are trying to make it as consistent as possible with this build, and going second makes it so that you're not reliant so much on quote-unquote consistency, but you do want to see Diagram, so you still obviously are still playing the 1. It also does help pop your spells, which you are maxing out on, so triple Heritage as well as triple Disciples. There's no reason why you shouldn't be maxing out on these. You definitely want to see them early. Being able to pop your opponent's back row with these is really, really good in that sense as well. So Diagram also just pops one of these. Going second, it's really good. You set one, you pop it, you search something, and then this will pop something else on your opponent's side of the field. Same thing with the trap cards, which is why you definitely do want to max out on them. And then this is where the deck gets a little expensive, and I'm sorry if you guys don't have these cards, like I know, but it does kind of suck. Like, you have to play the triple Extravagance. I'm also playing Duality because it doesn't interfere with Extravagance, but you have to play the triple Extravagance. The draw power is just too necessary in this deck. You need to get through it somehow. Like, you didn't need this beforehand, but just because of the Diagram hit with the Demise hit, you need to be able to draw cards. Now, if you guys can't afford Extravagances, you guys can play Desires. Don't get me wrong, you can still play Desires. It's just not as good in my opinion, and it's not as consistent. Definitely Extravagance and or Desires is something you guys should play. Duality, I 100% say you should play as well. If you are going to take out Extravagances, I would play like 1 to 2 Desires and then triple Duality, because you need to see your cards as soon as possible. So Duality, definitely a 2-0 for sure. And this is where it gets like the going second stuff. So you are playing triple Monarch Stormforth, and pretty much the whole point of this deck is to break your opponent's boards, right? Your opponent makes a board and you're just going to straight up break it. So you're going to do that with Stormforth, you're going to do that with Instant Fusion, and you are going to do that with Mind Control. Now, Mind Control is at 2 now, which is kind of unfortunate, but you still want to main the 2. So basically what this deck wants to do is you want your opponent to set up a board. So your opponent sets up the classic spiral board, let's say something like an Apollo, a Sleeper, and the tri-gate or whatever they end up making. That's like a standard kind of spiral board, right? Cool. So basically your opponent's gonna make something like that, and if you open like a mono plus any tribute summon, it becomes really good because you're gonna stun them with this. You're gonna normal summon a mono Iwado, you're gonna shut down their pretty much their board, you're gonna activate Stormforth, you're gonna tribute over their sleeper, then you're gonna activate mind control, take over their Apollo, then you're gonna link away, then you're gonna do whatever. If you need the instant fusion, you can Thousand Eyes, take something else away there, and then you just win. So this is pretty much why you do want to play these cards, because they're all break my board, or break your board I should say, cards, and you definitely want to max out on them because unfortunately Stormforth, Instant Fusion, and Mind Control are not searchable. I mean, I guess Instant Fusion if you play the random Predaplant engine, but that's not going to be happening. So you do want to draw into these, and again, that's why the draw power is so necessary, because you want to see them as fast as you possibly can. Pretty much the whole goal of this deck is, hey, I'm gonna tribute over your monsters. I'm gonna use your monsters as fodder for my monsters. I'm gonna break your board. And this deck doesn't have to necessarily OTK. That's why I say like something like Evenly could be really good in the side deck, because you don't have to necessarily OTK. But now that you have these on board, let's say you have 1 or 2 of your monsters on board, what ends up happening is on your opponent's turn, whenever they try to activate something, these are gonna net you advantage, right? This is gonna search you a monster. This is gonna search you a spell. This is gonna search you a trap. So they net you advantage as well as to help you break your opponent's boards. And then they become just big monsters like 2500, 24 with Ignis, 23 with Majesty. If you have the diagram up even, then you have them boosted, can't be destroyed by battle once. So that's why these are actually pretty important to play at 3. Now you guys can probably imagine, oh, what happens if you open triple Stormforth? Okay, that's not the greatest thing in the world, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's not horrible, because if you do open triple Stormforth and 2 monsters, like, that's not bad. Like, that's not even horrible at all. Or if you open triple Stormforth plus like an Extravagance and a monster, then your Extravagance can potentially get you to another monster, and then Stormforth that can just break my opponent's board. So this is really necessary in my opinion. You just definitely want to break your opponent's boards. It's really good against Hero, really good against Spiral. This is just not as good as against the control decks, but again, you side in for the control. Lastly, for the traps, you are playing triple True Draco Apocalypse as well as 1 return, and then you are playing triple Imperm. Now, Imperm is not necessary, don't get me wrong. If you guys can't afford Imperms, do not stress. You guys can just play Veilers. Now, as you guys saw, we're not playing Erupt, we're not playing Demise, of course, because Demise at 1. So you can actually fit in hand traps now. So you don't actually have to play the Imperm if you guys want to play Ghost Ogres, if you guys want to play Veilers. Those are more budget options that you guys can play. But I like to play the Imperm because if I am forced to go first, I can at least set this. If you guys can set this with, like, let's say an Apocalypse, what you guys can end up doing is, like, you have negation on your opponent's turn going first. You have Apocalypse, which can activate and then tribute itself. Let's say you open a monster to summon a monster, then this is going to pop a card your opponent controls. So this deck can still technically play going first. It's just not the greatest going first anymore, because as you guys can see, we're not playing that many continuous spell and trap cards other than the True Draco ones themselves. And basically that makes it so that you want to really just be able to tribute your opponent's monsters and not your own. Now again, what if you open Apocalypse plus Stormforth plus Imperm? You can set the Imperm, set the Stormforth, set the Apocalypse. Standby phase, you chain it with Stormforth. Now tribute your opponent's monster to summon one of your monsters, right? Obviously that's why you play the trap cards. They are the best True Draco trap cards. And if your return was at more than 1, I'd play more than 1 return. But Infinite Impermanence, again, I'm only playing it because it's a trap, but you guys can play Veiler, you guys can play Ash, whatever you guys want to play. It does not change the deck whatsoever. Now, moving forward with the extra deck, you can honestly just play anything. Most of it is going to go to Extravagance anyways, but you're playing 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Lambda. These are just generic link monsters that you guys can make if you steal your opponent's monsters with Mind Control, if you use Instant Fusion for Thousand Eyes, just generic link monsters that you guys can make to out your opponent's boards. Now, obviously, if you Mind Control one of your opponent's monsters, you're going to give it back to them on the end of the turn, right? So you want to get rid of it somehow. So the link monster is what you're going to end up doing in that sense. I'm playing double Volcasaurus. So this is actually kind of spicy, to be honest with you. So if you guys don't know Volcasaurus, what it lets you do is it lets you burn your opponent as well as pop a card your opponent controls. So once per turn, you can detach 1 XC material from this card, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy that monster, and then inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to that monster's attack. Now, it can attack directly the turn you activate the effect, but it's actually not horrible. And the reason you play this is because a lot of your True Draco monsters are like level 5, Majesty's level 5, Ignis is also level 5. So what ends up happening sometimes is if you can get double normal summon, you honestly can a lot of the time with your spell cards. What you can do is you can make this going second against your opponent, pop your opponent's card, do some damage, and then you're just going to win in time there, right? The new time rules suck, I know, but it's just a card that you can play in the new time rules and just helps you win. Again, this extra deck does not really mean anything because as you guys are going to see, the rest of it is super poly targets. Literally just super poly targets. And so this is actually 14 cards. The only reason it's 14 because you should be playing a second Mud Dragon. I just don't have the second one, but you should be playing a second Mud Dragon. Sunriser can also be a Vision Hero Adoration or Vision Hero Trinity, because that just breaks the hero board. So this is really good for against the hero boards. Against any other boards, like this is what you're pretty much breaking. These are obviously for instant fusion, so Thousand Eyes is for instant fusion, but the rest of these are just super poly targets, because in the side deck, I did say I'm not going to be showing you guys a side deck, but I should let you know that super poly is really good in the side deck. I would play floodgates like Crackdown, Skill Drain, Soul Drain, whatever else you need to be playing in the side deck, because you want a side to go first. Your opponent is going to see that you want to go second, so they're going to make you go first. And then once you decide to go first, you can even side something like Artifact Sanctums. You can side, like, the reason I would side for more Floodgates is because now you need to tribute for your monsters for Floodgates. So pretty much 9 out of your 15 side deck spots I would put towards playing Floodgates and going first cards, and then the other ones are probably going to be for back row decks against the back row matchups. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, please let me know by liking this video and leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you guys think. I'm open to suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions. Obviously this deck has been in testing. Like I said, it's not going to be meta or anything crazy, but it is the best way in my opinion to play true Draco now and be as consistent as possible with it. You can steal a lot of wins against those combo decks, being able to summon your Nibiru, let's say, on them, and then tribute your Nibiru token with the Stormforth or something to summon your own true Draco monsters, and then just beat them that way. It's very cool. It catches a lot of people off guard. So if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, like this video, subscribe to the channel. With that, Spanko signing out. Peace.
My hands steady, I feel ready, but my legs heavy, I don't get it. How come I haven't hit it already? Still working, I'm still learning, I'm still searching, finally earning something, finally turning something called a profit. If I hear you talking shit, don't get caught in it. I'll be popping off and hit your ass, dropping all your shit. Yeah, I promise this, I got promises, you ain't stopping this, cross my shit.